Well, good morning. Welcome.
Morning.
Welcome to LA. Brought the good weather. So great to see such a great turnout. On behalf of the leadership team in District 5360, it's a pleasure to welcome you here today to our, I guess, fourth in a series of 4 leadership. So they saved the best for last, as usual. They've been practicing for 3 times. This one's going to be so good that we're recording it for posterity. So we're looking forward to your enthusiastic and active engagement over the next 4.5 hours. So again, welcome. My name is Wayne Lindwell, by the way. I'm one of your assistant governors, and Herky has been helping me with local arrangements, as a number of other people. I've been taking all my direction from Rick and Christine and everyone else who I listen to, DG Dan and whatnot. So we're looking forward to today. We had a few technical issues to begin with, but we got it sorted out thanks to backup from Fran. Thank you, Fran. So a few housekeeping issues to remind everyone. If you haven't signed the registration yet, I think we've got all but 2 or 3 signed up. We have, I think, 2 or 3 walk-ins as well, so we're over 30. Just 8 days ago we were at 12, so that's a good thing. We have workbooks on your table as well. I don't think we have enough for 30, but we'll make sure if you can share, if you don't have 4 or 5 at the table, we can share, or we'll make sure we get some to you, right, Christine, or whatever. Okay, there's a few around. Just put your hand up if you need another one. As I mentioned, the rules for engagement are quite simple. Listen, share, respect others, as we all do. Cell phones off or vibrate. I know a few have been asking me for passwords and all that good stuff. I'm hesitant to tell you, but in any case, at the break you can get some emails if you wish. I guess if a few cell phones go off, we'll be asking for a public apology and a generous donation to the foundation, whatever. During the function, we'll have coffee, tea, and water. Lunch will be served. We have quite a variety for lunch. Quite a variety. I think we'll satisfy. Washroom locations, for those of you who haven't already noticed, they're out to the left and down the hall where you entered the hotel around the corner. So they're a bit of a trek, but both the men and women are out around the entrance area. As always, we have fun. That's what makes Rotary so much fun, is because we try to we have fun. Don't have fun, it's really your fault. In case of an emergency, in the unlikely event of an emergency, I think you see there's a door when we immediately go out to the left, as well as the exit door, so we don't anticipate anything like that. So desired outcomes. It's always important when you start a meeting, what do you want to get out of it? And we'll talk a little bit more at the end about next steps and so on. But we want you, at the end of the day, and I think based on what I've heard from the previous sessions, you will feel inspired, you'll feel energized, motivated, confident, and ready to move ahead helping lead your club. We'll be focusing on building a culture of teamwork and open communications within your club, and you'll be hearing a lot about that over the next couple of hours. And hopefully get a better understanding how we can more effectively engage our membership on those things that are relevant and important to them and to Rotary International. Also, we'd like you to leave here this afternoon with an understanding the value your club has in its purpose, vision setting and measuring goals, and recognizing our important milestone achievements. Having broadened your leadership network and knowledge that you have people and resources here to help, and you have to take advantage of that. You can't do it alone. You'll learn about some simple tips to help engage, motivate, and recognize members' accomplishments, knowing that it's really important to help tell your club story, even though we are service above self. So that's our program for today. I'm going to turn it over to Martin Parnell now, who probably needs no introduction. Martin is a AG as well from Cochrane. Many of you have heard him speak as a motivational speaker at district conferences, and he's written books and, well, go on and on, but I could spend a half an hour talking about Martin, so please welcome.
Just give me 15 minutes, would be great.
Oh, I'll turn it over to Martin. If he wants everybody to introduce themselves, I'll leave that up to him, but it's his time. I was going to leave that for you. So, Martin Parnell. Yeah.
This guy wherever he's coming.
Hook it on or something? Yeah, you bet. You got the clicker? Yeah, cheers. That's great. Sure, just hook that in there.
It's a big shadow you cast there, Mark.
See that? That's that. Okay, so first off, do I need the microphone? Can you hear me at the back? Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. Herky? I can hear you. Good man. That's great. All righty. So first of all, let me introduce myself. Yeah, so I'm the district governor nominee, designate governor in waiting. Is that right, Mary? Pretty close. Yeah, it's a pretty, it's a big long title, and it's almost as long as the time I have to wait, because it's like, what, 6 years ahead, is it? Not at all. No, not at all. No, it's coming faster. But yeah, so today, this is great. This is the fourth time we're doing this. So good. So I'm going to talk about planning for success. And what I want to talk about today is getting your club ready on its journey, and how to bring in all the members to have their voice and be part of what you're doing. So let's start off with a quote from John F. Kennedy: "Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction." So I want to talk about purpose and direction. We can put a lot of energy into stuff, but we may be going at different directions. So how do we pull our members into a situation where we're all rowing in the same direction? Okay, we haven't got one group going one way, one group going the other. So I want to jump right into strategic planning. Now, strategic planning is an organization's process of defining its strategy or direction and making decisions on allocating its resources to pursue this strategy. Now, that sounds all a bit kind of businessy talk, but let's get right into it. So whether you call it strategic planning, an action plan for your club, or a club roadmap, it's the same thing. You're laying out a path where with the involvement of the members, you identify where you're going to put two resources: dollars and the sweat equity of your club members. Okay, whatever size of club we are, whether we're 120, whether we're 40, 30, or a club of 10, there's a certain capacity to do something. So we better make sure as a club we're putting our efforts where we need to put them, and that people have input into that. Otherwise, we're going to waste a lot of energy and potentially dollars in not achieving that. Now, there are three situations a club can find themselves in. No strategic plan. The strategic plan is completed, but is collecting dust on the shelf. Okay, so you've done the work, and then you put it in that binder, and you stick it up high on the shelf, and it sits there. Or the strategic plan is completed and is a living document. So you've done it, and your club, through various mechanisms, are using that plan as they move forward through the year, second year, third year, or however long you've set that up. Now, who's president-elects here? Hands up, please. Okay, a bit higher, please. Yeah, don't be shy. All right, so, so your job, one of your roles, is to develop and evaluate your club's strategic plan to make sure it's current and relevant, all right? So that's one of the roles of the president-elect. Now, who's president? Who's president's here? Oh, that's right, they've gone over there, they've run away, right? They've gone with Dan, right? Because they're afraid to be here, correct? Yeah, I know. Anyway, you can tell the presidents this, all right? That their role is to implement action plans and regularly evaluate your club's progress towards its goals. All right, so when you're presidents, that is the role that you will take up. Now, we are very fortunate to have an individual who will facilitate your strategic planning process. So at the district, we have a fellow, Martin Harvey. Who knows Martin? Yeah, Martin is a phenomenal individual who, he's waiting on that phone for you. He's waiting for the call, guys.
okay? Right now. If you called him right now, he would be there. Let's all call him. Yeah, let's call him right now, yeah. You'd think it's one of those robocalls, eh? No. Martin is the fellow, is the person who will help you with the process. And 2 years ago in Cochrane, we decided we needed to update our strategic plan. It was out of date. We really weren't following it. So as my job as president-elect, I gave Martin a call, and we set up a process which we included all the members. Now, there is discussion, should the strategic plan just be with the board or with the whole membership group? We had that discussion in our club. We decided every member needed to have the opportunity to participate. And so the process included having a morning workshop, but of course not everyone can make that. So we ended up having inputs from members on an ongoing basis where they could see the output of the workshop, but then have their input as well. So over a 3-month period, everyone had the opportunity of inputting into the strategic plan. And that's very, very important. Because quite frankly, as you move along, people will say, oh, I never had a chance. Well, yes, you did. Unless they were new members, and we'll talk about when new members come in and what we do with new members. So call Martin. Let me go back to that slide. There's his number. Okay, you got it? Okay, good. Now, the 3 key elements in the successful strategic plan is involving all the members, and I can't emphasize that enough, to establish the club vision and mission, and then to look at setting these strategic goals by avenues of service. Now, that's not written in stone, but just example of what we did in our club, and other clubs have taken a similar approach. So in Cochrane, we have club services, community services, international, and new generations. So those are kind of our 4 main areas, and the directors within those areas have developed with the club their goals. And when they report, every 3 months when they report, they use their goals to talk about action plans within those goals. So they'll say, how are we online, what are we doing when we look at those goals, what actually are we actually doing? So I'll touch on that in a minute. And this is where strategic plans go to die. Have you seen a shelf like that? I think we've all seen a shelf like that, yeah. Yeah, and we don't want that. We do not want them just to go and disappear. Because to be honest, if we do that, well, we've wasted our time. We really have, so let's not do that. 3 ways of keeping the strategic plan alive. Make the director of the avenue of service accountable. So on our board, we have the directors, and they have agreed that with the development of these goals, they will then work with their committee on establishing the action steps within those goals. Have the avenue of service committees set yearly goals. So our strategic plan is 5 years, but there are yearly goals within the strategic plan for those avenues of service. And directors to report status to the club on a regular basis. So at our monthly board meetings, the directors do a report, and they frame it within the strategic plan. So they'll come and their report, they have those strategic plan overarching goals, and then they'll report on what they're doing under each one. And it's really proving to be a very good approach to keeping that strategic plan alive. And then we report to the clubs, to the members in a business meeting. We share with the members what's going on. So just an example, and I will use the club I'm at. So this is our strategic plan, 2017 to 2022. And I'll use the example of community service. So one of the goals was to involve the club in a local signature project. We felt we had been kind of a bit rudderless in terms of community projects. We'd had some little stuff, but we didn't have a signature project that the whole club could be involved in. And one thing we learned was there's been a district survey, and the two main reasons people join Rotary is a community project and fellowship. Those are the number 1 and 2 reasons people want to join Rotary. So we really felt we needed a signature project. The second item was to promote initiatives with the community of Morley and Indigenous people in general, with a view to strengthening relationships. So in Cochrane, we're 30 kilometers away from Morley. They are our neighbors, and yet we have not done a good job at all in establishing and collaborating with our neighbors. And we felt that was absolutely critical. Another one was the opportunities to exist for the club and its members to be more involved in the street level of the community. Grassroots, hands-on, doing stuff. And having us out there working in the community and being seen to work in the community. So those were the overarching goals for the 5-year strategic plan. So our community service director is Alex Baum. Alex is the president-elect for this year. So this is how he reports, and this is what's happened. So to involve the club in a signature project. So we talked to different groups in Cochrane. What do you need? You know, what are the needs in Cochrane? Where, rather than us saying, we're going to do this, we asked around to different groups, Boys and Girls Club, Girl Guides, there's all different groups. And the one that came up that we wanted to work with was the Girl Guides have a camp in Cochrane. It covers all of the Calgary, Banff, Canmore area. We have 10,000 Girl Guides coming through the camp every year. They needed an all-inclusive adventure playground. And so we talked to them, we talked to the members, we agreed that was going to be our signature project. It's a multi-year project, $600,000, of which we are going to start doing the first part at $120,000. And this will include all the club. So this was a big step to find that signature project for our club. The second one was to promote initiatives with the community of Morley. What we've done is we have a couple, Michael and Judy Bopp, who have worked extensively with Indigenous groups, not only in Canada, but also internationally. And we've developed, they have developed a 7-part learning series working with the elders in Morley. And so there are 6 3-hour modules, which we're going through right now. We're at number 4. The last one was spending a day at Morley with the elders, visiting with them. And this has been a huge undertaking, but we've had support from Rotary in terms of a grant to develop this. So again, this was a big step for us. And one thing I'm going to point out is this particular initiative, there was some resistance in the club. There were some people who felt we should not be doing this. There were some people who felt that, well, we've given lots of money to the Indigenous people. We shouldn't be doing this. Now, that could fracture the club. I'll be very honest with you. That's the kind of situation where a club could fall apart. But what we said is, well, we did a strategic plan. You had your chance for input. The club wants this. Now, I have to give credit to our members. They're still working with us. Hopefully, they can learn. Hopefully, they can change. This is the direction we're taking. And because of the strategic plan, we've held it together. And, when things are going good, okay, maybe you don't need a strategic plan. You need it when there are issues you're trying to deal with that, it's not easy. So I'm just being very upfront with you. This one, it's not 100% with the club, but we're going ahead. And the final one, opportunities to work in the community. We've identified the food bank, Meals on Wheels. There's any number of things we can do to work with the community. Schools need help flipping burgers. We will do anything. Come to us and we will go out and we will help the community. So again, tangible things that we're doing with our dollars and with our resources. Yeah.
Unpack this Indigenous learning program a little more.
Wow. Well, okay, so as I mentioned,
Sessions, you said 3-hour sessions.
Yeah, 6, yeah. So,
And who goes to these sessions?
yeah, very good question. So let's talk about that, and I think it's worth it. So we are collaborating with the town of Cochrane. The town of Cochrane have said that they want their leadership team to be part of this, okay? So we meet in the Alliance Church, which is pretty ironic, the fact that we're doing it, but we're meeting in the Alliance Church, and there is a group of 25 town of Cochrane employees and 25 Rotarians from Cochrane in a big circle. So we do the big circle, and it is facilitated by Michael and Judy Bopp. But with us, we have elders from Morley. So the very first session was a blanket exercise. I don't know, anyone done the blanket exercise? Yeah, it's unbelievable. So we did the blanket exercise. The next, so that was the first module, and we talked about that. The next module, we did the smudging ceremony. Anyone done the smudging ceremony? Yeah, we did that. But also we're learning about the history of what happened, about when the colonizers came over and the destruction and the disease and on and on. It's stuff it just blows me away. It's actually very emotional. So we're working our way through the history. There's another part to the history, number 4. I can't remember what the last 2 are, but it takes us up to the modern times. And then there's the day in Morley. So I'm happy to share with anybody what we're doing. We have a curriculum, and it's at the moment it's the town of Cochrane employees and the Rotary Club of Cochrane. But I will say, because I'm an assistant governor, we have Canmore and Banff as part of the 3 clubs. So we invite other Rotarians from the 3 clubs. And so we've had several Rotarians from Canmore come to be part of the process. Michelle Dagenet. Michelle comes, and she has been part of the process. So it's kind of new, guys, but it's an example of, we're at a spot where I never thought, the fact we're there, halfway through this 7-module thing, it's pretty wild.
And the content is all from the elders from Morley.
It's,
the lessons you're going to
they are working with Michael and Judy Bopp, and because of their expertise, this is what they do. It's really helped the process, yeah. But I'm just going to say, it is something we want to make available to whoever, but we're not quite there yet. This is the first one we've done. So anyway, yeah, good question. So time for a little bit of work. So first of all, what clubs do we have here? What Lethbridge clubs? Shout out. Yeah, Brooks, Lethbridge, Downtown, Uptown Club, good. Raymond, Lethbridge East, High River, pardon? South Calgary. Did I hear Mosaic? Yeah. Mosaic, yeah, Mosaic. And Rotaract? Yeah, great. So we got, sorry? Canmore, that's right, that's my price. Sorry, Bryce. Yeah, I don't know how you got down here, but they let you in, right? That's great, that's great. Well, we got a huge variety of, which is great. This is pretty incredible. So so whether you want to do it in groups or just individually, so think about these things, all right? So if you have no strategic plan, okay, let's be honest here. Yes, go ahead.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So for your strategic plan, is it typical for all clubs to handle just the community service portion of the club? Like, does it ever look at international service or foundation goals?
Oh, absolutely.
Or is this just a component of
That was just an example. I just wanted to, so when you look at our strategic plan, we have, exactly. We have a section on community, international, youth services, foundation. I just wanted to kind of,
For sure.
yeah, that's great. So what steps, if you don't have one, okay, so who feels they don't have one? Let's be honest. Okay, so, good. Okay, no, that's okay. Gosh, look, we're here. You got to start first step, right? You got to start somewhere. So if you feel you don't have one, what steps are you going to take to get one, okay? To get the process going. When are you going to take action, all right? And who and when will someone contact? Now, you see the name there? Okay, Martin Harvey, yeah. Poor Martin, he's going to, that's great. Okay, now, so who has, if you have a strategic plan, but it needs dusting off. So who has one that you have, and it's in a nice red binder, and okay, put your hand,
So I noticed you had one for 5 years, and what I've been learning is
yeah.
you should really be doing it. Well, looking at it every year, but also maybe redoing it.
Yeah, you know what, friend? Yeah, and that's a good point. We did it for 5 years, quite frankly. Every year we're going to kind of revise it, and I think it will be 3 years when we'll have another proper. 5 years is a little bit long, I think, but that's okay, because I think we'll agree in 3 years, because we would have done a bunch of stuff that we will as a board agree, let's do it again. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so it needs dusting off. So what steps are you going to take to dust off your strategic plan? When are you going to take the action? And how will you make it a living document? So for the folks who need to dust it off, what are you going to do? Okay? And finally, if you have a living strategic plan, so who feels they're living the plan? Yeah. Okay, good. That's great. So if you live in the plan, this is, and you're not going to get off scot-free, okay? If you know, good for me, pat on the back, right, bro? No, because it never ends, all right? As like Rotary, this never ends, all right? So how will you keep the strategic plan a living document? All right, this is key. How often will you review the plan, Fran? I think that's kind of a point you're making. And how will you share the plan with new members? And this is a challenge. You've got new people coming in. How are you going to share with them what you're doing, why you're doing it, where you're heading? Okay, so yeah, if for anyone who thinks they're going to get away with it, no, you've got some work to do. Okay. So hang on. So for 10 minutes, okay, individually or in groups, please answer those questions. Okay, for your clubs. So I'll give you 10 minutes. With the group that had no strategic plan. So I think, yeah. So go ahead, whatever you think. What are your thoughts? Yeah, okay. I'm glad that got through. It was, yeah, that's great. Yeah, you got his number. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's a great starting point, and he'll guide you through. You bet.
There was one, because I wrote it, and I'm in the same club. So me and Jeff Foss wrote it, but it's probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was sort of edgy, so I'm going to go find it again.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I have it upstairs in that red binder.
yeah, you got, yeah.
I will find it so I can give it to.
Have a look.
Jeff Foss is back there.
Great. Well, that sounds great. So
We'll be okay.
that's good. Well, that's super. And that's the starting point. Simple as that. I mean, once you get going, talk to the members, get them, however you want to do it, Martin will help you through that. So I'm going to leave it all to Martin, okay? Now, the group that have to anyway. The group that had to dust off who wants to talk about that? The dusty group. Yeah.
I'm trying to find ours. I know we did it. I was
Okay.
part of it, but we have it somewhere. So I think we should probably take that out and give that a look. Maybe that might be a good idea.
Okay, give it a look. And do you know when you did it, just out of interest?
It's not that old. Ours was a 3-year plan.
Okay.
It may need updating in my year. So we're on track. It's not too dusty.
No.
Yeah, we can refer us to
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. So definitely bring it out. And it sounds like time for a bit of an up.
make a review of
Yeah, and just so between when it was done, I'm going to ask, and now, you've had new members come in, some new people into. Yeah, so obvious.
Who know nothing about it? Of course not.
Yeah, no, perfect. So it's time to, and maybe even do a complete refresh. Like it's time to bring Martin back in again, and obviously that's your call, but that's something you can do. Yeah, Fran, go ahead.
Club changes, right? And I think the electric club has changed quite a bit, so it will change how your strategic plan looks.
Yeah,
The other thing we talked about, and I think Brian brought it up, is you need like a one-pager. If you get too complicated, that's a great idea. It's too hard.
And then we can give our new members.
Because if you take it to your board meetings, which is really, I think, theoretically what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Is saying, are we still on track?
yeah.
A 40-page thing is not worth it.
No. So let's just hold that thought for a minute, Fran, if you would, please, because I want to get to, not that guy, I want to get to the clubs that have one and it's living. So maybe I'll get comments from both of you. Bryce, you want to start off?
Well, yeah, and I think we sort of had that, like I said, mentioning annual kind of strategic plan, roadmap, but it was very haphazard and very dusty and very, and there was no real purpose to it. And last year we sat down and purposely created a living document that, gave the overarching, mission, vision, values for our club. And again, and that was key too, is having like a short document, not a 20-pager, but
Yeah.
very, streamlined document that kind of gives the overarching, mission of what we do and referring back to that document kind of gives you some, you know, a grounds for, you know, does this fit with what we want to do?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But then we started doing, you know, quarterly reviews at our regular meetings just this past year to kind of keep that document living and kind of seeing, you know, keep it, you know, so that it doesn't get stuck on the shelf, and so that we're, you know, keeping it, you know, that are we on pace? Are we, you know, and then revising it as we go, right?
Yeah.
So it is definitely, it's not something that is set in stone for 5 years.
No. So you include it in your club on an ongoing basis, be it at board meetings or at meetings. It's there. It keeps on going. And sorry, for yourself, yeah, for your club.
Well, for my club, I know a lot of work and effort was put into it last year with the incoming president, but I'm not convinced that all the members participated. So
Okay.
I don't think there necessarily is buy-in or even awareness. I really like the idea of framing the director's reports around the strategic plan goals.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're communicating to new members. I think that's
Okay.
critical. So,
No, thank you for that. Yeah, and now just going back to Fran. So we've done, this is the 4th one of these we've done, and I think it was Fish Creek who had a 1-pager. Am I right? Wow. Oh, you have it. Yeah, it was because I thought that was a brilliant idea, and they have just kind of a 1-pager that you can share, you can look at, you can keep an eye on. I think that is critical. That it's something that you can work with. So thank you for your thoughts. And once it's all done, this is how you'll feel. All right. You'll be so pumped and happy. All right. So again, thank you for your time. And now I will hand you to Mary. Thank you.